Hello again. Third wee film on some of my paintings on Scotland's history. Number one up in this wee section is Charles Edward Stuart. Another 50 years on or so, and we're once again given the gift of another human being like a tree with no roots. First gust of wind that comes up blows him over. This is a man who swore by his own Catholic faith, and when he didn't get his own way there, he changed his faith. And at one time, even in London, when he came back a second time to try and start again, he even joined the Freemasons. But when he couldn't get his own way there, he changed back to his other religion, his first religion. Now, nobody would want a man like that standing beside them in a trench. In the middle of all that, he was responsible for the deaths of about 1,200 men on the battlefield of Culloden Moor, just east of Inverness, in 1746. No wonder he died a pathetic drunk in 1788, I think it was, in Italy, where he was born, where he died, where he should have stayed. Second painting up in this wee section, I call this one Outriders, because when he arrived here in 1745, he promised us the world. He was going to be some kind of saviour. Individuals and clans alike gathered from all over Scotland to support him. A bonny prince. Secret messages were being sent out throughout the Highlands to gather and prepare to support the prince, who did have the legal royal right to the throne. Jacobites were preparing everywhere. It must have been an exciting time. Lord George Murray, he was the general of the army, he was the genius of the army really. The fifth painting up here is a Highlander holding a basket-hilt sword. When you look at characters like that, I can feel the same strength of pride that there was in the magnificent-looking North American Indians, or the African Zulus, or the Islamic Moors. They looked fantastic. And I think Highland soldiers in those days looked equally fantastic. At the time then, was it human vanity? I don't know. Charles decided that he would take personal command of the battle upcoming at Culloden Moor. He decided it was going to be on Culloden Moor. Big open moor. Lord George Murray advised against it, saying we should cross the Nairn water and fight them in the hills. That's where you'll beat them. Where the Highland soldier is more used to that kind of terrain in the hills. Certainly not in an open moor like Culloden. Madness. However, if that was going to be the case, Lord George said, okay, first of all, before that, let's try something else to see if this works. A night march. Let's go through the night and try and catch the government army, who they knew were celebrating Cumberland's birthday at Nairn. If they could catch them in the early hours of the morning when they were asleep, recovering from the drink the night before, then maybe that was the answer. Good idea. But in those days, you didn't have roads like you've got nowadays. or street lights to show you the way. Pitch dark, cold, and the inevitable happened. Groups were getting separated, losing touch with each other, and in groups they decided they weren't going to make it. So they turned back and headed back to Culloden Moor. Some of them kept on the road to Inverness for food and rest. They were exhausted, starving. But the ones who couldn't go into Inverness, they just collapsed on the moor where they were and fell asleep. Next thing they knew, it was 11 o'clock in the morning. They were woken up to the sound of cannon fire and rifle fire. Shocking. So the swords were crossed. That's the next painting up. Here we go for the battle. The rest is history, too horrifying to even imagine. Things happened there that the schools could never tell you about, I suppose. Men were skinned alive, burned, bayoneted, raped by government troops. Even civilians who witnessed it and who lived in the road between Culloden and Inverness suffered the same fate. It was the start of a genocide on Scottish people ordered by the government of England. Any indignity that the human mind could even think about was perpetrated there at Culloden Moor. I wonder if the reason why we weren't told the details of that, taught that at school, was because of their bad consciences, much like the reason that Americans don't like to talk too much about what they did to Native American Indians. The ninth painting up there is the skinning of a human being, a dying human being. And once they skinned them alive, they just stuck bayonets into them. All clan banners were gathered up after the battle on the field and taken to Edinburgh and ceremoniously burned as a symbol of the end of the clan system, which it was. That was the end of it. All bar one. The Stuarts of Appin banner. It turned up in 1933 in Castle Stalker, just on the west coast there, near Oban. The Stuarts of Appin banner. Next painting up there is a boy unwrapping that banner from his waist. It was saved by the boy Donald Livingston, who was running from the field when he realised the battle was lost. And he tripped over and fell over a dead soldier who was still holding on to the standard with a banner on it. And Donald tore the flag off the standard and wrapped it around his waist 2 or 3 times. It was a big banner, I've seen it. And he ran from the field. As he was running, a redcoat soldier had him in his sights and he shot him. The bullet went in, but not to his body, it went into the wrapped around flag. So effectively, Donald saved the flag and the flag saved him. Donald Livingston, by the way, is the grandfather of the great David Livingstone. It's a fantastic history. I've written a manuscript about that whole story, but that's another fantastic story, far too long to go into here. I know it's a long time ago, and I've heard through the good book, you should forgive the sins against you. But another old Scottish phrase keeps jumping into my head about forgiving your enemy, but remember the bastard's name. I've a very good friend, musician, kindred spirit in the world of music and history, called Ted Christopher. And Ted, every year, 16th of April, at midnight, takes groups of people to the big cairn there in Culloden Moor and conducts a wee service there in remembrance of the men who still lie there to this day. Some years ago, I was walking across Culloden Moor, done it 2 or 3 times, and I played a couple of tunes on bagpipes. After I'd finished that, I was walking off and I saw a piece of litter lying on the ground there, so I picked it up thinking it was just a piece of litter, and I was looking for a bin to put it in. When, the nosy bugger that I am, I looked at it and there's words written down on this piece of paper here. There's pencil written. As I glanced at it, it was like a poem. And I looked around to see if somebody had actually left it lying there, just for me to pick up. But there was nobody there. I couldn't believe what I was reading. Why was this thrown away, and why was it me that had to pick it up? If the author recognises this, because there was no signature on it, I don't know who it was, I'd like to shake your hand. Tell me this isn't emotional. Poor chills, you lie beneath the sod. You once were braw and quick, but clay around your bones now grips clammy, cold and thick. Lang syne you followed Charlie's grace, to question it was no wise. Your lairds did glibly dress the cause in patriotic guise. Yon chiefs were glowering haughty men who couldn't agree at all. They had 3 kingdoms in their grip and bickered them a war. Alive you were, but like martial grist to feed ambition's mill, like chaff, they've left you lying here. By God, they served you ill. 200 years have gone and mair, but still it's aye true. All this for power doesn't heed the likes of me, or you. To me that day was, and will remain, one of those special moments in my life when I could actually feel the presence of what felt like somebody tapping me on the shoulder to say something about the past, just to me, through that one piece of paper. If those words touched you, then maybe we share something.